Alright, so in this one we are going to be doing my Dragon Ball Legends End of Legends Fest 2025 Part 3 Top 10 tier list here. Obviously with the new Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku. He has clearly adjusted things to where the new Ultra is one of the top tiers in the game, as well as just shaping what really matters in the meta here. So let's get to it. The bottom of the list here, which isn't even top 10, because I do think there are some options that can be coped as it, but I don't have them as it for myself. And again, as you can see here, it is not ordered, with it being Red MZ, Manga Gohan, Janemba, and Android 13. Let me talk about Android 13 the most, because I think that's the most controversial one here. Android 13 is an oddball right now. How Goku works is, and again, how the game works right now in totality is you're centering around beating the best teams in the game. GT with Super Saiyan 4, Goku and Vegeta, alongside Gohan, alongside Super Gogeta, alongside Namek Goku, alongside whatever third is going to be one of the best teams in the game. So Goku is going to be on that. Goku is on one of the best teams in the game. I don't think there is a best team, but he is on one of the best teams in the game. So what happens with 13? 13, being a blue, obviously does not get helped, as well as he really hasn't had a perfect home, as well as the main reason 13 builds up his support, right? You have to do 2 or 3 cards, usually 3 cards to get a support going, and that's the whole intent of him. Use him as a safety, as well as building support, and you amplify your other units and juice them. Well, how Goku works is every 3 cards, here we go, strikes or blast, Goku's gonna end up sealing your opponent, strikes, blast, and then greens. So 13's building up his gauge, and then once you build up his gauge, unless you are like Ultra Full Power Frieza, essentially, which is the only anomaly here, or maybe UV4 Kick, I guess is the only other, your hand is sealed and you can't click a card. You built up your 13, you got support going, and then you swapped out, and guess what? Your hand was sealed. So 13 can't benefit you at that point. He's actually hurting you because running him, being a blue, is not ideal right now, as well as that whole premise of his kit just doesn't really do anything right now. It's kind of just a non-factor that coexists. So I feel like I had to mention him the most because I don't think he is top 10 right now. I don't even run into this unit at all. I mean, frankly, looking at all 4 of these non-top 10 units, Manga Gohan is probably most popular just because you could glaze Gohan, and you know he is helping do that within more guard, within more damage inflicted, and within more support. So I guess that'd be the best one of the 3, or 4 rather. So that's my not top 10, but again, you could argue them top 10. Again, if I were to argue anybody, it'd be Manga Gohan over anybody else here. Janemba is just a solid option. I think he's better than Baby, just barely, and just because he has a more modernized kit, as well as Baby really got kind of bare minimum there. Again, he's decent, Baby. You could probably even argue him here, but he's whatever to me. And then Red MZ is just getting folded up by Gohan, as well as Goku with Gohans, and he's trying, but he's definitely not succeeding as much as he once was within part 1 of this festival to now part 3. So that is my arguable top 10, and then move on to number 10, with it being Ultra Corrupted Masu. I think this unit actually does gain a little bit of value. I think people are starting to become scared of running yellow units. You do see a decline of Namek Gokus and Ultra UIs, specifically Ultra UIs running around, because here's UV4 doing his thing. Here is other red units that do coexist, but UV4 being the primary one, which would scare Ultra UI away from the game. So CMZ isn't the worst. You do need to try to run a purple right now. I don't think, just running double greens is the most opportune thing, because once people do start picking up on like, oh, well, Goku has only 3 counts offense neutral. That's it. That's all he ever has on offense neutral, and SG is just kind of tied to a situation of doing his, green card. That's the only way he'd get neutral. There's ways to make your purple actually look pretty good, because again, people are scared to run their yellow. So CMZ definitely does still have a little bit of value. He's not anything crazy. His teams aren't anything. It's just more so that his individuality is more better off because these yellows are getting scared. They're still in the top tiers and some other top tier units, but they're more so getting scared than anything. So it does kind of dwindle them and then amplify him because he's a purple. You could also mention even, I guess I'll put him here just for the fun of it, Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku, which could make this list here if I could find him real quickly. Yeah, this guy can make the list. He is back on a featured boost, so his damage is a little bit better. Pure GT within this guy is not a terrible team. It's not the best team, obviously, for GT, but, well, it actually could be. But regardless, you don't have to run pure GT. You just have to run one GT ally. But if you want to support your team, I know Gohan supports when he's revived, but this Goku supports from frame 0 of the game, so I mean, he's decent enough. I just think CMZ is still better individually, comparably. Even if this guy has a team on GT, he's not priority on it. You're only doing it because you want to run pure GT, and that's not the best team. That's not one of the best teams in the game. It's up there because the dual 4s, but you're not going to run that pure third. You're running some other leader slot character because Legends things. Then we move on into number 9 with it being Ultra Full Power Frieza. I think this guy actually has a lot of value because people are scared to start running their purples. Yeah, CMZ's going to run more Super Saiyan 3 GT, whatever other purple, because we really don't have good purples. Even Godku hit, which I've hardly seen as well. You know, given half purple there, but still, if people were starting to run those units more, I wouldn't gas Frieza, but we don't have really a top-tier dominant purple that exists in this game. You know, Godku hit are the best thing, and again, they're only half, and they're not top-tier dominant. They're not even top 5, so Frieza's free. Again, you could very easily do Frieza leader slot on a GT setup. You could even put X20 Kaioken on the bench, and then Zenkai above him, and then Z buff the others. It's all there. It's all easy. He also does have the best way to circumvent the Goku seal, which again, the whole point of the list that is not in the top tiers and its units that are below is how they do against the top tiers. CMZ clearly can do very well against the newest Green Ultra, or the LF from Part 1 within Super Gogeta. Well, Frieza is very good to circumvent the way of just ignoring this guy's seal. You do his beam, and then you dash forward, and guess what? That seal is done, and Frieza continue comboing. You could go into your before, you go into your Goku yourself, and just really extend that. So since people aren't trying to run the purples, and purples are not the most dominant thing, this guy does see a resurgence in value. I think he is better than CMZ right now, as he has a more finite team within that GT leader slot. Again, not a perfect team, but it's more, you know, set in stone than it is any other team that coexists in this game right now for CMZ. And also just to throw out there as a side pick, Super 17, you probably could argue in the top 15, most likely top 20 with Baby, but both of them could definitely argue at least top 20, right? So just to note that as well, where Baby and Super 17 do lie. I just kind of remember he exists because I ran him with Frieza. But Frieza, decent value, nothing crazy. He's definitely going to go off and lose value soon. I expect the After Party LF to be a purple. I mean, we look at what we got here for the festival itself. We got a red purple, so it's only half. We got a blue, green, as well as yellow. So you didn't even really get a full purple, despite the fact that we got 2 greens. Not back to back, but you know, close enough to where it feels like holy shit. And both those greens are still dominant in the game because purples are so down bad as their individuality is just not that high. But then we move on into number 8 with Final Flash Vegeta. I think he still can do some decent work. I think people, again, as they are starting to be fearful of running a yellow, Final Flash doesn't really care about that. Sure, he obviously wants to fight yellows as he is a red, but you guys get used so fast nowadays. I think his damage is still pretty top tier. You could kind of do a stupid thing where it's UV4, Final Flash, and then maybe Goku, and you're just kind of glazing, and you have, you know, maybe Goku on leader slot. You just have the Zenkai buffs for reds, and then boom, you have this guy in UV4 hitting like a monster. Then here's Goku with your safety with a rush thing that you can make that team kind of work out. And again, there's no real scary blue that's going to just one-shot you, given Gohan is going to very quickly kill you. You do have some neutral effects within Vegeta, having neutral within Super Saiyan 4 Goku, having type advantage as cancel buff effects, as well as UV4 having defense neutral and cancel buff effects. So you're not insta-dead. Clearly, again, Gohan could wreak havoc on a team like that. It's just an example of a team that can work for Super Vegeta, but you can even do multiple things. You could do Godku hit, and then here is your Super Saiyan 4 Goku, given no endurance there, but still, here's Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You have Goku hit to have the endurance, you have the reds getting glazed up, Goku in the leader slot, and then boom, Zenkai buffs them to the moon and back. Again, Final Flash is not the most ideal teams, but he does have a decent way to kind of circumvent just getting victimized by blue units, as well as being good against yellow units, who are still in the top tiers, just not in the broken tiers. So I think Final Flash does retain some value, and again, most likely these 3 that are 8 through 10, they're just the ones that fall off the fastest, and kind of just, you know, years and 2 weeks from now, they're not on the tier list anymore. I could see that the case for all 3 of these characters, but for now, what matters is now, and I think Final Flash is still pretty competent to this day. Then we move on to Godku hit. I think their dual element helps fit them at number 7. It didn't help them within part 2, clearly, because Gohan was Gohaning, and I don't know what the fuck that plan was there within all that, but nonetheless, I really can't understand what they were doing with that. That was so strange from Legends. But nonetheless, you do have Goku hit, being able to do well against the current meta top tiers. With it being a purple, obviously you can't do well against Super Saiyan 4 Goku within some snipe potency, the blue card, green card from hits. I'm not sure if there's a perfect lowering sub count that happens within that, so you can kind of get away with it. As well as, again, people aren't running a yellow as often, so it's not like hit's always hitting disadvantage now within Namek and UI. No, he's at least hitting neutral, if not type advantage for most of the sequences that he's in. Again, those units dwindling in value does help this unit gain more value. God proportion, again, yellows are still being run, yes, but again, being run less, so he's a little bit more useless. But again, the hit variant of this character is definitely better off. So having that at number 7 above Final Flash, I think makes sense because it warrants where we're good against double elements instead of just being good against one element or 2 elements here. Godku hit definitely have more potency to get their job done, essentially, with them being the double element that they are. So I think number 7 does hit them nicely there. Then we move on into number 6 of it being Ultra UI Goku. I think he took a steady, steep step down, and yeah, he did, because, I mean, look at it here. What was he last time? Was he not Gohan number 1? Wasn't UI number 2? UI, SG, Namek, that whole thing, top 4. So from top 4 bare minimum to now he's number 6. Again, these red units just coexisting. UV4 getting a lot more value. You can see UV4 is not on the list yet. UV4 is bare minimum top 5 here. That's just really going to hurt UI because it's stopping the auto attack, the auto dodging rather, as well as the hand reversal thing doesn't really mean too much because here's your endurance with Goku, here's your cancel buff effect Goku, here's your UV4 type advantage, and as well as cancel buff effect, and you really just won't get a kill out with UI's kind of backhand bullshit thing that he does, which is better than Goku's, to be fair, because it literally gives you an ultimate just to land for free, and Goku's just kind of like petite to damage realistically. I mean, it does okay, but like everyone's going to heal it back up. So he has that over Mr. Super Saiyan 4, but again, the element factoring really does hinder this guy to a high degree, and it's valid. I mean, no one really likes this character to fight him. No one likes to even use this character. They just kind of use him out of necessity, and he was very top tier within part 2, within the buff that he got, but now he does have to fall down. Again, he's still top tier. Top 6 is very high placement. Anything within the top 7 really does matter more than not. I mean, most likely even top 6, that matters more than not. Below the 8 through 10, that's kind of just like, you know, hazy characters that can help, but like they're not ideal. Still has a good team, still has good, you know, foundationals and all that, but he's getting hurt by the GT duo, and within that, he can't be high up, he has to fall down to a degree. And now I will explain the gap here, with it being the gap of teams. I think the only thing that matters right now is the top 5 units when you're looking at teams. So that's what the gap means. It's not gap within unit value, given you could argue it is, but I'm saying that it's not gap within unit value, it's more gap within the teams. I think the top 5 units all amalgamate somewhat of the best team in the game in some discrepancy, so that's why it is cut off there. And maybe even this number 5 unit won't make that, but I perceive that he does. With it being Mr. Ultra Namek Goku. This man is trying. He's clearly trying his best. Being victimized by UB4 is going to be a tough time. Hit Godku, as well as Final Flash, as well as Ultra UI, as well as Super Saiyan 4 Goku. There's a lot of things going against this guy because he is a little bit older, but he's still doing his job with KO guard. He's still being annoying within his AoE green, within his lock-in. He's still doing himself justice, and more so, you're still running him despite the fact that he is older and not as the newest toy here. You know, Ultra UI is kind of newer at this point because he got his plat so recently, despite this guy being a newer unit overall. This guy, though, the KO guard, you just kind of can't get away from it. It's not really ever going to age unless they make something where they did like anti-revival and they start hurting revival a lot. They start doing that KO guard. I don't perceive this ever aging, so I think he does help fit here on one of the best teams in the game. Let's say you want to run Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and then Namek Goku. Well, you have infinite safety. You have the endurance, you have cancel buff effects, as well as KO guard. Who's going to stop you? What's going to make you not run that team? I feel like there's nothing to really deter you. You have a free lock-in, which, let's say you're fighting Gohan, Goku, and Goku again. You know, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan, as well as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. You can just do kind of the Namek Goku lock-in into U4 switch attack, into a rush, and blah, 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 blah. If you do get those timings perfected, as well as everything else that can go for you. And even if you want to, you could just rush Super Saiyan 4 Goku within the lock-in, and then boom, KO guard's popped. You don't have to worry about the gimmick of Super Saiyan 4 Goku stopping your rush, and that's very easy for you to plan because he has such toxic and easy traits, this Namek Goku. So, he does hit the number 5 there. And then moving on, we do have number 4, with it being Mr. Super Gogeta. I definitely think he takes a step back because Super Saiyan 4 Goku is just better in every single way possible. But it's not like this guy is bad. He's clearly doing still good damage. He still has his disrupt that does, you know, affect most of the game right now. Sometimes he can circumvent it within a main ability or something, usually like Gohan. But he still does his job to a very high effect, very good offense, a little bit of downplay probably on his offensive prowess within Super Gogeta I've seen recently because he doesn't have much utility within Super Vegeta, if not any. So, I'm referring to defense utility. So, I do think people are a little bit downplaying on that. But, does very good damage. He's just a second-rate green option, and that's what happens. I mean, Ultra UI is a second-rate yellow option to Namek Goku because KO Guard is more valuable than anything UI can create right now. It wasn't like that in part 2. Now it is, because KO guard greater than auto dodging, where you can't really auto dodge most games there. Then move on to the top 3, and it sounds like I'm speedrunning this, and I am, because I am ill. I'm sick. Wish me better, you know. Timestamp this, saying get better soon, man, because I feel terrible right now. Number 3 being Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and why? Well, Goku. Goku exists. Obviously, has a good partnership now. SG being a decent partner for him made him exist in the top 10s even prior to this, within part 1 and part 2. But now Goku is obviously idealized for this Vegeta, so them working together is not anything crazy. The switch attack into Goku's thing that he can do within his Ultra UI kind of esque gimmick there works very nicely. The dual cancel buff effect, dual lowering sub count when there's big moves being done. Everything that can flow within these two being perfect together does. Even the Zenkai buffs not being fully ideal within single stat buffers on setup of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, usually being the main one. It still does work decently enough within all the healing, within all the damage, within all the burst. It's very nice, as well as if you can circumvent away, like I mentioned with Frieza, to ignore Goku's disrupt there. UV Force Kick, if you do charge it perfectly timed, you can actually ignore Goku's disrupt there. It's not perfect, but it is an available asset that can coexist. Then move on to the top 2, with it being Mr. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan at number 2, as well as Super Saiyan 4 Goku at number 1. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan obviously does have to fall a little bit within the new green unit coexisting. Gohan's, best team usually consisted of, here is Gohan and Goku, and guess what? Blue, yellow. Here's your green, red that coexists. So it's a bit of a problem for him. Now Goku and Gohan are trying to run together, with it being Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and both Tag 4s, both Ultra 4s here that coexist, and I think Goku kind of makes that team be what it is. I don't want to talk about Gohan because you all know what Gohan does, but Goku, he is giving you, the rush safety that he has on his allowance, which people even forget about because he has so much in his kit, the cancel buff effects, the endurance. Obviously, I'm referring to when he's on GT because he wants to be with an ally GT, and again, if you don't run with UV4, he's not number 1 for you. If you run with UV4, he is number 1 for you. It's very simple like that. So, extra damage guard, extra damage inflicted, cancel buff effects, endurance, the very easy blue card spawning that just after doing 3 cards totality, which he gets his hand sealed by another Goku, but then he has a blue card to kind of ignore that, so he does good against himself as well. Again, he does have a flaw, which is not grueling right now, but you will see it eventually, probably really soon, where he is only neutral for 3 counts offensively. And even then, Gohan has a similar flaw where he's not very offense neutral as well. Shit, UV4 is the most offense neutral here just because he has switch attack so fast and so commonly. But he doesn't have that flaw. That's kind of hurting him now because, again, purples are not this top tier dominant god. But regardless of that, he is still the best unit in the game, doing all his damage, doing the easy Zenkai buffs for him, whether it be on a GT team or not, or a Saiyan team, or whatever you want to run him on. He does have those accessibilities, decent equips going for him and UV4. Actually, UV4's equips for when he released actually flow on Goku and work on Goku, all 3 for 3 if you do run Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta within Goku. So you just run the same equips repeated for Goku and Vegeta, and you would just be set out and ready to go. So, again, faster video, just not feeling great. Number 1 is Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku. Number 2 is LF FSK Rebel Gohan. Number 3 is Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Number 4 is Fusing Super Gogeta. LF Ultra Namek Goku is hitting number 5. There is a team gap there within it. I think something here does align to where the top 5 is best teams in the game, and then below that does not fit that mold. Number 6 being Ultra UI Goku. Number 7 being Godku Hit. Number 8 being LF Final Flash Vegeta. Number 9 being Ultra Full Power Frieza. Number 10 being Ultra Cross Masu, and then all arguable not number 10 there, not ordered, being LFMZ, Manga Gohan, LF Janemba, LF13, and LF Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. What do you guys think of my top 10 list to end Dragon Ball Legends Part 3 Legends Fest 2025? I'll see you guys in the next one.